Today, let's talk about that invisible force. You know the one that can make us buy stocks we really don't get or believe ideas we haven't really thought through. That feeling of just following the crowd. Sometimes it can lead us right off a cliff. We're talking about herd mentality.
So, be honest, have you ever found yourself caught up in something? Maybe you were panic buying toilet paper, or jumping on a hot new stock, or even just adopting an opinion because everyone else seemed to have it. Well, that's the herd instinct at work. It's a totally natural human thing, but wow, the consequences can be absolutely staggering.
So in this explainer, here's our game plan. We're gonna break down what herd mentality even is, take a look at some of history's most wild examples, unpack the surprising societal costs, and then, the best part, figure out 5 ways we can all start to think a little more independently.
All right, first things first. What is actually going on in our brains when we decide to just go with the flow? Let's dive into the psychology of it.
Okay, so at its core, herd mentality is all about social influence. The practical psychologist defines it as this phenomenon where we conform to the group, often even if we don't personally agree. Think of it like a mental shortcut. It's driven by this really deep need we all have to belong and to trust the wisdom, or sometimes the madness, of the crowd. Now, it's not all bad. I mean, following the herd can make us feel like we belong, and it helps us make really fast decisions in a crisis. But the downside is massive. It can totally crush creativity, it can fuel mob violence, and it can lead us to adopt some truly harmful beliefs just because they're popular. So it's a real double-edged sword.
And you might think this is some new social media thing, but nope. Herd mentality has been shaping and sometimes completely shattering societies all throughout history. Let's look at a couple of big ones.
Get this, back in the 1600s, people in the Netherlands thought tulips were worth more than houses. Seriously. Until one day, they just weren't. A little later that century, pure fear and group paranoia in Salem led to the execution of 20 innocent people. And hey, in our own lifetimes, the dot-com bubble saw billions of dollars just disappear because everyone was chasing the same tech dream. 3 different centuries, same exact human behavior. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the problem. It doesn't matter what era you're in, whether you're a 17th century merchant or a modern day investor, that pull of the crowd can make even the smartest person do some pretty irrational things. So we've seen the market crashes, the historical tragedies, but what if the real cost of just going along with everyone else is something deeper, something actually woven right into the fabric of our society?
Because the real fallout, it turns out, isn't just about losing money or things that happened a long time ago.
It's a crisis of economic justice. It's a problem that's kind of baked into the very systems we all participate in every single day. And this is where the price of conformity gets really, really steep. And this brings us to a really fascinating perspective from a philosophical thesis at the University of Athens. It argues that modern economic crises, they're not just financial failures. They're actually symptoms of a herd mentality that's pointing to a massive deficit in our society's core values. So according to this analysis, when we all chase the same market trends, we're actually contributing to a system that puts profit ahead of people. And what does that do? Well, it weakens meritocracy, it widens the gap between regular citizens and the state, and worst of all, it ends up punishing everyday people for crises they had absolutely nothing to do with. The bottom line? The price of conformity is a society that's just less fair. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty heavy, but here is the good news. You do not have to be a passive member of the herd. We can actually actively choose to think differently. So let's explore how. So how do we push back? Well, the practical psychologist lays out 5 really clear steps. It all starts with awareness. Then you have to actively seek out different opinions, mix with diverse groups of people, start to see disagreement as a good thing, and finally, regularly take time to just reflect on your own thinking. Let's just focus on that first step, awareness, because honestly, it's the most important. Just look around at your own environment. Is there a real lack of diverse opinions? Do you feel intense pressure to agree? What happens when someone disagrees? Are they attacked or just dismissed? These are huge red flags that you might be in an echo chamber, which is the perfect breeding ground for herd mentality. When it comes right down to it, it is a conscious choice. The herd mind, it just follows. It's afraid of being different, it avoids conflict. The independent mind, on the other hand, questions things. It values different perspectives, and it thinks critically before it acts. It's really about choosing to engage your own brain instead of just outsourcing your decisions to the crowd. Sooner or later, you're going to find yourself in a situation where the crowd is surging in one direction. And the question you have to ask yourself is this: will you follow blindly, or will you stop, think, and choose your own path?